when you're doing SAP installation, we have to look at a few things. What are they? Types of softwares, what types of softwares we have, and the hardware requirements, software components requirement. Yesterday we have seen that software component requirement, right? And what type of installations we have, installation types, and installation procedure, how you do the installation. That we need to check. So when it comes to types of softwares, we have two types of softwares. One is IDAS, second one is production. Some people also call it as non-IDAS. For example, if SAP released one ERP software, they release IDAS version as well as production version. Yesterday I shown you. IDAS means International Demonstration Education System. For training purpose, they use this IDAS software to get trained on that new ERP. So in organizations, we install production software, or you can say non-IDAS. So what is the difference between these two softwares is, this IDAS software will have technical content as well as some dummy business data will be there, so that you can do practice. For functional people, they need some business data to do practice on the software. If you have only technical data, no business data, how can they create sales order, purchase order, material orders, and all those salary, payrolls, everything? No. So this IDAS software will have some dummy business data. So when compared to the dump size, your production dump size will be less and IDAS dump size will be more. Why? It is having some dummy business data, and this production software don't have any dummy data in that. So if you observe the softwares which you get in the market, generally they have 800 client, 810, 820 clients, right? Along with the 000, 001, 066. That means that software is IDAS software. After installation, if you get only 000, 001, and 066, that software is production software. So all of your friends who are learning SAP or doing some practice on SAP, generally they do on 800 client. The functional people, the functional modules people. But for basis guys, we can do practice on IDAS software as well as production software. Why? You don't need any business data to do basis kind of things. But TMS, user administration, background job administration, support package, no, you don't need any business data. So you are a technical consultant. I hope you got the point. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Second one, hardware requirements. What hardware you need to do SAP's installation? I'm generalizing the installation concept. I'm not going with ECC6 or S4HANA or NetFever. So for any installation, you need all these things. You need something like a CPU, processor, right? And a RAM, physical memory, hard disk drive, motherboard, and network should be configured, and you should configure some virtual memory. So when you do a sizing part, how you do sizing? Interview question. So by using quick sizer tool, we do the sizing. So in quick sizer tool, you can do two types of sizings: user based sizing and the through output based sizing. So SAP is recommending for through output based sizing. Means user based sizing means how many number of users are there and number of concurrent users, that is comes under user based sizing. Throughput based sizing means what number of Z programs you are having, and what how much amount of data you are having. All these details it will ask, this tool will ask, quick sizer tool will ask, and you have to give some inputs to that, so that it will give you number of SAPs, CPUs, vCPUs you required, it will give you that. So which one is good one? Throughput sizing is good one. But generally the sizing depends upon, I cannot tell this is your sizing. So that depends upon so many things. What all the components you are using. For example, in your organization you are not implementing HR module, so that also depends on your sizing, what all the components you are using, and the number of users, and number of Z or Y programs you developed, and the number of work processes, background processes, and dialog process, the number of work process you configured. All these you have to take into consideration when you are doing sizing. So who will do this sizing? Not a basis consultant generally. In biggest organization, you will be having architects. That architects will do the sizing. If somebody asks you regarding sizing, you can say you are the part of the sizing. You have not done entire thing. So for that you require so much experience. As of now, you are all babies in SAP, so you cannot answer all these questions related to sizing. If you are in implementation project, so your architect will do the sizing by using fixed sizer tool. They are having two options. One is user based sizing. Second one is through output based sizing. The SAP is recommending for through output sizing. So you need CPU, RAM, hard disk, motherboard, and a network. Your system should be in network, and you should configure virtual memory. You need some virtual memory also. What is virtual memory? Yesterday only we discussed. I'll explain you one more time. Virtual memory is nothing but adding some hard disk space to your existing RAM. Adding hard disk space to your existing RAM. For example, you are having some 8 GB of RAM. Okay, your RAM is what? 8 GB. What is this called? RAM. It is called as physical memory, right? Physical memory means your RAM. And you are having some 500 GB hard disk drive. This is your hard disk drive. That is 500 gig. 500 GB. Okay, this is your HDD hard disk drive. Okay. So when you, for example, your operating system is Windows operating system. Windows operating system is full of GUIs. On the top of that, you installed SAP. SAP is also having full of GUI, all the screens. Everything has to load into your RAM. So how you get the information? So first, if you want to access anything, first it will go and check in your processor. What processor? You can say a CPU. In processor. So in processor, you will be having L1 cache and L2 cache. So L1 cache means a small storage area. So if you are searching something, first it will just search in L1 cache. It is just like a 200 MB to 300 MB. You won't get that file there. Then L2 cache. It is also smaller in size, in KBs or MBs. That's it. Then it will check in RAM. If that information is not available in RAM, then it will go to hard disk drive, and then from it will search in the hard disk, and then it will load into your physical memory RAM. Then only it will give you the presentation. Without loading into RAM, you cannot see that object, right? I told you, YouTube. You're watching some video on YouTube. What is that? Downloading or browsing? It is a downloading. Without downloading that content into your RAM, you cannot watch on your desktop. So what is virtual memory means? To load all these graphics into your RAM, you might not have sufficient space. So what we do, we give some hard disk memory to existing RAM. Hard disk memory to existing RAM. This memory is called as virtual memory. It is physical memory. This memory is called as virtual memory. Is it a RAM? No, but it is a virtual one. It is a physical one. This one is a virtual one. So that this RAM can think this memory also as a RAM, then it will use this memory area for swap ins and swap outs. You got something in your hard disk. Your 8 GB is filled up. Now it will check in L1 cache, then L2 cache, then RAM. You won't find that file in RAM. So it will come to hard disk. From hard disk, it has to load into your RAM. But your RAM is full. What it will do? Already the first file which comes into RAM, that file has to be swap out from RAM. And this file has to be swap in, swap out, swap in into RAM. When you are doing swap in and swap out, it will use this virtual memory, or you can also call it as page memory. So in generally you have to give 20 GB of virtual memory. 20 GB of virtual memory to install SAP. It is a prerequisite. So adding hard disk memory to existing RAM. Adding hard disk drive memory to existing RAM is called as virtual memory. It is not a physical memory, it is a virtual memory. The RAM may think it as a RAM memory, but it is not actually physical memory. That is what called as virtual memory. I hope you got the point. So for swap ins and swap outs, for temporary move-ins, it will use this memory area. From where you are giving allocating to RAM, from hard disk drive. So now RAM will think this 20 GB plus 8 GB, 28 GB as a RAM. But actually this is a high speed device. What is this? RAM, random access memory. It will access the information randomly. It will pick the data randomly. But your hard disk is what? Sequential read. Which one is fast? RAM or hard disk? This is also memory area. This hard disk also memory. This RAM also memory. But 8 GB RAM cost is, for let's take example, 2500. And 500 GB hard disk cost is 2500. Then what is the difference? Speed. It is a high speed device. RAM is a high speed device and your hard disk is a low speed device. If you are having some 10 files here, so if you want to access the 8th file, it will read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But if it is the same files are loaded into the RAM, then it will directly pick 8. Randomly it will access that file. That is the reason we are calling it as RAM high speed device. So what is virtual memory? Adding hard disk memory to existing RAM is called as a virtual memory. So you need all these things to install your SAP. So your system should be in network. At anyhow in your organization, all the systems will be in network. The IP will be configured, and you should have sufficient processor, RAM, and the hard disk space. Before you are installing, you have to check the space, everything. Then software requirements. Yesterday we discussed we need SWPM, kernel, IGS helper, host agent, exports, GUI, database server, and a DB client. All these softwares you need to download from Service Marketplace. The types of installation. What types of installations we have? We have three types of installation: standard installation, distributed installation, and high availability. Standard installation means standard or central installation, you can call it as. The application and the database both on same host. Node 1 is my host here. Your applications and the database you install on same host. For example, if I install my database as well as the application on the same laptop, that is central installation or standard installation. If your applications and the database on different hosts, then we used to call it as a distributed installation. The applications on different host, database on different host means a physical device, different hardware. Okay. And the third type is high availability. High availability means generally for production server we configure high availability. So what happens here? See, I am having two ASCS here. One will be active, one will be in sleep mode. If this ASCS goes down, then this will come into live state. That is what always your server has to be up and running. That is what we call it as high availability. It is an advanced configuration. We'll see at the end of the course. Okay. So you should know all these things. What are the things? Types of softwares, hardware requirements, software components requirement for the installation types, and now we'll see installation procedure. Before going to installation procedure, first of all, you should look at some things. The prerequisites, important interview question. What are the prerequisites you need before doing the installation? Prerequisites for installation. What are they? So can anyone please tell me the prerequisites? So how you install? By using SWPM. So there is one port.
SWPM.
SWPM port should be open. What is the port number? 4.
4238 4237.
4237 or 4238.
4238.
For HTTP and HTTP, this port should be available. This port should be available. Second one, you should configure 20 GB of virtual memory. Configure 20 GB of virtual memory. Third one, system should be in your whole system should be in network. Network should be configured. You can say like this. Sorry. Network should be configured, and you should have sufficient space on hard disk drive. Check space requirements. For ECC6 you need is at least 250 GB, like that. For each and every software you will be having different things. And fifth one, maintain host name and IP address in etc host file. These are the prerequisites for doing the installation. Okay, your port should be available. You should configure 20 GB of virtual memory. Network should be configured. Check space requirements and maintain host name and IP address in etc host file. What is that etc host file? I'll show you.
And we have to check the products availability matrix.
Yeah, that you do before downloading your softwares, no? Yeah, you can write all those things. You need to check product availability matrix. You have to download all the required softwares, and you have to uncar SWPM. You can write anything, but the major things I am discussing here. Install operating system. You can write anything. Okay. See, Windows System 32, where your ports are written, the same location. Windows System 32 drivers, etc services. Here your ports will be written, remember. And here you will be having one file called hosts. There you need to maintain your IP address and the host name. You give your IP address and the host name here and save it. This is one prerequisite. Second one is configure virtual memory. How you configure virtual memory? Go to system, advanced settings, see virtual memory settings, advanced. See, by default when you install operating system, by default it is taking 2432 MB. So you have to add some 20 GB. Automatically manage? No. I'll do customize the value. 20 GB means in MB is 20,000. Okay, I'll give 21,000 to 22,000 MB. Okay, set. Now it will take your space from where? From this memory, hard disk. See, now 119 GB, 91 GB is free. Now check how much it will take. So you need to restart your system to take effect. Restart later. First we'll check that how much memory it has taken. It's not taken yet. So I'll restart the system. This is how we configure virtual memory. Means it's nothing. You are adding some hard disk memory to existing RAM. It's called as virtual memory. So port is okay. Virtual memory configured. My system is in network, and I have sufficient space in my hard disk drive. Everything is, and I maintained that IP address and host name in etc host file. Everything done. Now what I need to install? What I need to install first at the time of installation? Database software. I need to install database software, right? See, now 72 GB free. Previously it was 91 GB. Yeah, it has taken hard disk memory as a virtual memory. Okay, fine. Now I need to install database software. So go to dumps and check. Do you have all the dumps? Here I'm having exports. See, I'm having exports here, and Oracle database. SWPM is there. IGS exe, IGS helper, SAP exe.sar, exedb.sar, host agent, and Oracle database software. Everything I'm having. So now I'm first installing Oracle database. Go to database and say SAP server.cmd. In which drive you want to install database software? C drive. Give one SID. Okay, I'm going with Dave SID. Okay, fine. First you need to install the database software, then you have to start SWPM. So before doing this, do the prerequisites. What are the prerequisites? You should check 4237 port availability and maintain IP address and host name in etc files, etc host file, configure 20 GB of virtual memory, and you should check sufficient space requirements in your hard disk drive. Everything you need to check, and your system should be in network. These are the prerequisites. Important interview question. Write down. Be patient. It takes some time to install your database and SAP. Now what I am doing? I am installing the database software. See, installing the database software only. Create and configure a database. No, only I am installing the structure here. Later at the time of database installation, it will create the database. Single instance. Okay. English. Next. Enterprise edition. Next. Use built-in account. If you want to create a new user, it will create. Okay, I'll go with this. Where it is creating the C. This is your Oracle home. Under C, Oracle drive is it is creating your SID. Under SID, your version 12, Oracle 12 version. That is called as Oracle home. Done. Install. Yeah, now it is installing everything. Okay, your installation of Oracle database was successful. Okay, close, finish. Now the next software you need to install is SWPM, Software Provisioning Manager, right? You go to your dumps. So you got this Oracle folder here. Under that your SID, this folder. This is called as Oracle's home, where all your binaries and JDBCs, ODBC drivers, everything, your administrator network, everything of Oracle related software will be storing here. This is called as Oracle home. This is got created now when you install that software. Now go to SWPM. Okay, and open this SWPM. Click on SAP inst.exe. it will open in a browser. It will use some port number. Check that port number. What is the port number it is using? It has to open your browser. By using 4237 port. Yes. See which port it is using? 4237. Okay. Don't use recommended settings. Continue with this website. Okay. Now it is asking for administrator password. Boom. This. Close. Yeah, your SWPM is started. So by using this SWPM, you can do all these installations. See, S4 HANA 2020, 1909, 1809, 17, 16, 15. And you can install BW on HANA, NetWeaver 7.52, 7.5, 7.4, and EHP 1 for 7.31. All these. If you want to install your ECC, then go to your business suite. Under that, you will get that EHP 8 for ECC 6. So you can get all, you can do all the installations. And yesterday we discussed, by using this SWPM you can do dual stack split. If you want to split this dual stack to single stack, then use this option. And if you want to rename your SID, then use this one. And you will be having some generic options like uninstallation, and you can do system copy here. Everything you can do by using these options. So this is what about your SWPM. Now my software is NetWeaver 7.4 SR2. So I'll go there. So what is my database? Which database we just installed?
Oracle.
Select your database, Oracle. Okay. Then if you go to preparations, it will do the prerequisites check. So I have done already. If you want to do, you can do that preparations. See, prerequisite check. I don't want to do that. Yeah, Srinidhi, your doubt is this, right? It will tell you. Okay, then go to installation, select your database, and directly go to, if you want to do system copy, use this option. If you want to do the direct installation, go with this option, installation, application server ABAP, standard installation or distributed or high availability. I am going with the standard installation, standard system. Say next. Any doubts here?
Most of the time in the real-time distributed system will go for, right?
That depends. Okay, distributed. Yeah, mostly they do distributed. NetWeaver 7.4, database, installation, application server ABAP, standard system, standard system. Next. Now it will ask you for all the parameters, SIDs and passwords, and that installation files, everything. Whatever it asks, you have to give inputs. This tool will guide you what you need to have, what are the software requirements, what are the parameters it needs, everything this tool will guide you. Just only difference of the softwares is you can choose any software and the options are same. Yesterday I told you, if you want to install S4HANA, you can do that. BW, the same method. Select BW, select database, and say installation, standard installation, continue. After that, it will ask you for all the software, your SAP SID, DBS ID, and master passwords, and all kernel files, host agent file, everything. Finally, it will ask you for exports. That's it.
Whether standard system or like dual system, distributed system, so the softwares are same, right? Only the host is different of the application and the database.
That's it. So it will ask you what is your database host name. Then you have to give the database, the host name on which you install the database. All the systems will be in network only at anyhow in your organization. So they will be connected like that. On one host you are installing application, on one host you are installing database. Just to give that details there. Now you'll get all these questions. Typical and custom. So typical means it will ask you few things. Custom means it will ask you for more parameters. So I'm going with the typical now. So everything it will tell you. If you read this SWPM, well, nowadays all the tools are giving you entire information. The sum also, it will guide you. Just you should need some patience to read that. Just now we have seen that typical and custom. What is typical and what is custom? There is information. The most important thing is what? Patience. So log off is required. Okay, it will log off and it will start the tool again. That means it installed installation master tool now. After restarting, it will start the tool automatically. See, it is starting the tool. From here your installation will start. Actual installation. Now you install the tool. After installation of that tool, you will get one directory in C drive. See Windows where it is. See program files, I think. SAP INST installation directory. So in this directory you'll get all the tools. See whatever you have chosen here, here you'll get all the log files. So if your installation got any problem, you can check these log files. There also it will show. I'll show you. Don't use. Yes, continue with this website. Okay. Yes, you can ask any questions meanwhile.
Sir, how about in Linux, sir? Where it will get created? The SAP install direct. Shouldn't here.
In Linux,
Yes, sir.
var temp, I think.
Okay, okay, sir.
You're a Linux admin, right?
Yeah, yeah, right, sir.
So what is SAP system ID? What ID we gave to database? Dave. So the same I'm giving. Installation data, I'm having only one drive, C drive. Okay. I'm giving the same SID for my SAP as well as a database.
Sir, can we uninstall and
Can we? Sorry, I didn't get your question.
sir, for practicing we can uninstall and reinstall it?
Yes, you can do. Yes, you can do. Set FQDN for SAP system. FQDN means fully qualified domain name. So what this FQDN means, it will have your host name as well as your domain name with it. So it is used to figure out your server's location exactly by having your domain name and host name. That is what we call it as FQDN. So this is my standalone system. I don't have any network. I don't have any domain here. So I'm unchecking that FQDN here. In your organizations, you have to set that your domain name will be there. You should have fully qualified domain name. Password for all the users. So give the password. basis123 I'm giving. So unlike all the earlier versions, you need to give again and again. Yesterday we have seen the earlier versions. It is asking for all the users passwords again and again. But here it is asking for only once. All the users master password. That is for your OS level users as well as your SAP star, DDIC, SID IDM, SAP services ID, everything. The same password. If you want, you can change also. So after installation, what are the post-installation activities? It is also a very important question. Prerequisites and post-installation activities. When it comes to post-installation activities, first of all, you have to hit SICK code, SICK or SM28. It will do the initial consistency check. If your installation got any errors or not, properly installed, the software is properly installed or not, it will check. If you get no errors there, then you can further continue. But if you get any errors, what you need to do? It is a fresh installation and you got your installation with errors, and you are going to utilize this server for development, quality and production purpose. So it is not a good idea to continue with that. So uninstall that software and reinstall the software if you get some errors in SM28 or 6 screen. Remember that. After that, you have to apply the license by using slicense code. Then import profiles by using RZ10. Then create a client and do client copy, local client copy. Then schedule some standard background jobs. If you want to configure operation modes, you can configure, it is optional. And configure TMS, apply latest available support package and patches, apply language packages, configure printer, run sgen, finally take a full complete backup. These are the post installation activities. Important interview question, write down all these things. What are they? First, SIG or SM28 for initial consistency check. Second one is applying license by using SLicense T code and import profiles by using RZ10. Then create new client using SCC4 and do the client copy. Configure housekeeping jobs by using SM36. Configure operation modes, it is optional one, using RZ04. Configure TMS. What is your database SID? Dave. Next, apply latest available support packages using spam and language packages. Apply language packages. Then configure TMS. Finished. Configure printer and whatever you want as a post installation activity, you can do all the things. Finally, run SGen T code. It is a load generated. It will load all the objects into your buffer so that your system's performance will be good. Then finally take a complete backup, complete full backup. These are the post installation activities. What are the prerequisites? Your port number should be available, 4237 port should be available, and your system should be in network. You should have enough space in your hard disk and configure 20 GB of virtual memory. Then maintain your IP address and host name in ETS host file. These are the prerequisites. And the installation procedure is install your database. Yeah, package path. It is asking for all these files: SAP exe.sar, IGS.exe.sar, IGS-helper.sar, DBA tools.sar. Okay, what is yesterday we didn't discuss about this DBA tools.sar. This is for your BR tools. If your database is Oracle database, you will be having one tool. Oracle database is giving one tool called BR tools to do the database administration activities. For HANA database, how you are getting this HANA Studio and HANA Cockpit. For Oracle database, you will get BR tools to do all the database administration activities like user creation, privileges, backups, restores, all the things. So for that, this DBA tools.sar will contain the executable files, the DLL files, and library files of that BR tools. Especially for Oracle database, we use this DBA tools. So we need to give all the things. So where is my dump? Here, SAP exe.sar. Okay. Say next. Or else you can give all these files at a shot, but to remember you, I'm giving one by one file. You can give one entire folder name. It will take all these files from there itself. See, when I give SAP exe.sar, displace worker.exe, msg underscore server.exe, nq underscore server.exe, all these are what? Database independent files, all the DLL files, dynamic link library files, and you are getting all these things from SAP exe.sar. The same way you observe for SAP exe db.sar, database related files, message server.exe, all these are what? Application related, database independent files. Web dispatcher exe. See, it has taken SAP exe.sar. Now IGS exe, you can give it a shot. No need to give one by one, but for the practice purpose, so that you can remember all these things. If I give one by one, right? So I'm giving one by one, and you can see what it is extracting at that time. See, gateway related IGS, gateway related executable files, DLL files, charts, screens, and then it is asking for what? IGS helper. Okay, it is also related to your internet graphical server only. Okay, IGS helper.sar file. So here also you'll get IGS related executables only. Some advanced files. Then it is asking for DBA tools, SAP EXEDB. Okay, I'll give SAP EXEDB. Now check what all the files it is extracting from SAP EXEDB.sar. Database dependent executable files. See R3 load.exe, R3 SHCHK. Okay, and DBA tools. Okay, now I'll give DBA tools.sar file. You need not to uncar them. This tool itself will do all the uncarring. You need not to do, only you need to uncar that SWPM. That's it. All these SAR files will be uncarred by your sum and SWPM itself. Some also, when you are doing some upgrades, you need not to uncar all that. See, everything is available now. Say next. Host agent is remaining, and the client, what is that? Host IP address. The IP address returned by looking for host name. I have seen it by Microsoft Field Request virtual and please define. Okay. As of now, I'm going with. Okay. Do you want to repeat the checks before continue? No. So IP address issue is there. If you miss any prerequisite there, it will throw you error. So what it is asking? SAP host agent. So what is host agent? Anyone? Host agent comprises of three things. What are they? SAP host exec and SAP start SRV and SAP OS call.
SAP OS call.
OS call from NetWeaver 7.2, 720 kernel, 722 ext kernel. It is by default. It is installing with along with the SAP instance. You need not to install separately. So, and what it is asking now? Host agent finished. Next. You can read that files. There is lot of information is there. If you read that file, that information, you can explain this installation very well. For everything, the key point is your patience. So, dear patients, be patient.
Nowadays nobody asking for the installation process, because of everyone should know the installation process by watching some other videos in the YouTube, but everyone should asking only the system copy, what is the refresh, what is the DB refresh, those things they are concentrating, interviewers.
So what you are suggesting me, don't show this installation part, or?
No.
So as admin, it is a basic task that you have to do the installation. Otherwise, how come you know all these EXEs? Yeah, maybe they are not asking, but as admin, you should have this knowledge, right? So about host agent, exe.sar, exedb.sar, all these things. So it is asking for export 1. So we are not only preparing for interviews here, we are preparing the subject, right? Otherwise, I should have tell all the interview questions. Why should I tell all these things? Data units.
Yeah, this will helpful definitely in
Export.
career.
Finally, you have to work there, right?
Yeah, right.
They don't ask what is ERP, what is SAP, but we are preparing all these things. Don't think in that way. So now it is asking for export 3. Export 1 finished, export 3 now. Is that data units? Under that you are having export 3. 3 exports. Only I'm installing NetWeaver ACE ABAP engine. I'm not installing any ERP software or any non-ERP software. Just I'm installing the platform, NetWeaver platform. So NetWeaver ACE ABAP platform means what all the components you'll get after the installation: SAP ABAP, SAP Basis, SAP BW. These three are called as technical components of NetWeaver platform. Why I am using only what is that? Export 2 it is asking. Exports data units. Yeah. Actually you have to give that label.asc there, but it will take. Every directory will have some label on that. Just you have to give that label.asc file there. Now it will read all the exports. One thing is missed. What is that? All the files we have given: host agent, DBA tools, exe.sar, exedb.sar, DBA tools, everything finished. One thing is missing: host agent, everything is. What is that?
Client.
Client.
DB.
GUI.
GUI, why you install here, boss? On your presentation layer you install. At the time of installation of SAP software, why you give GUI there? GUI is just a login tool. In that GUI also you'll be having web GUIs. Different types of GUIs we are having. We don't, yeah. So it is asking you for the locations where I need to place this SAP data 1, data 2, data 3, data 4, and your Redolog files, archive log files. If you know Oracle database, you can understand all these Redolog files, archive log files. Okay, right. Next, everything C drive. I have only one drive here, but in a practical, you should not give all these Redolog files and data files at one location. If you lost your data files, you can recover from your Redolog files and archive log files. So the same instance RAM, how much what is your memory? 6 GB, almost 6 GB, and this instance 11 GB, total RAM is 11 GB. For this instance it is taking 5.7 GB. Okay, and it is connecting through SSFS mechanism. What is this SSFS mechanism? We'll see. And for database version, database home. Okay, next. Password for your schema. What is your schema name? SAP SR3. Important interview question. ABAP schema name is SAP SR3. Java schema name is SAP SR3 DB. Remember these 2 points. Schema is nothing but set of objects, tables, views. All this comes under one schema. No multi-tenant database. Okay. That entire schema is the set of tables, objects, views, all comes under one schema name. And your listener port 152.1 to 152.7. What is listener? Remember these two files: listener.ora, tnsnames.ora. This listener.ora is server based configuration file. This is a tnsnames.ora is client based configuration file. We need to install database DB client, right? That client responsible file is tnsnames.ora. The server responsibility file is listener.ora. Under Oracle admin network admin, you will find these two files. We'll discuss about these two files. Interview question. Client responsible file is tnsnames.ora, and it is asking for client software. Oracle database we installed, so it is asking for Oracle client. Okay, fine. This Oracle client software done. You're almost there. Oh. and that SFS is secure storage file system, the connectivity between your application to database. How your application is connecting to database means by using which mechanism? SSFS mechanism. Previously we used to have OPS dollar mechanism. Now that mechanism is obsolete. Do not decluster. Now the new method is SSFS mechanism, secure storage file system. You will be having database authorizations at OS level. Number of parallel jobs 3. Based on your CPU, you will get all these processes. So R3 load jobs, you have to load into the database how many jobs we need to run. 3. If you are having good hardware configuration, then increase that. Now it will go to review parameters. Yeah, it is saying instances. See, by default it is creating 2 instances. One is ASCS, second one is PAS, primary application server for central services. Both, if you want to give different instance numbers, you can give. And both hosts are India only. And the same host it is creating. You can install on different hosts also, remember that. It is not mandatory to have your ASCS PS on same host. You can install on different host also. See what it is asking, no SLD destination. Use SLD means system landscape directory. You will be having one concept called SLD, system landscape directory in your Solman. So all the systems will go and connect to your solution manager. So your remote systems, your satellite systems information will go to your solution manager. From there, the information will route to your service marketplace. So this system is not having any solution manager component already installed there. So I'm going with, it is a standalone system I'm installing. So I'm selecting no SLD destination. If I use existing SLD, then you have to give that SLD on which system you configure SLD, that port number, that user ID and everything. So I'm going with no SLD. How your systems information is going to your solution manager? All the systems will be connected to solution manager system by using this SLD, this configuration only. This user will connect to your satellite systems, and some RFC connections will be created between your satellite systems to your solution manager, and keep on your up-to-date information of your satellite systems will go to your solution manager. Do I have solution manager system here? No. That's the reason I selected no SLD destination. If your organization will be having your solution manager system there, then you have to select that SLD destination, SLD user, host name, everything, port number, everything there. Individual key, default key, secure storage file system. This is regarding to your SSFS only. Why I'm not explaining all these things means you won't understand these things at this moment. When we are preparing for interviews, by that time you will know so many things, you can understand these things. What is SLD, what is SSFS, what is FQDN, everything we'll discuss. No worries about that. Review parameters. See, if you want to change any parameter, if you have given some rank parameter, rank values, then you can change all these things from here. So check everything is fine. So if you want to change this thing, then say revise and change it and say next. So everything is okay for me. Then it will start the execution of services. Define parameters, review parameters, execute services, services complete. These 4 phases. How you have 6 phases in your sum, the same way here you also you're having 4 phases: define parameters, review parameters, execute services, and complete. That's it. Your installation will finish within 2 to 3 hours based